Thank you. I would call Chief Deputy Tobe Leazenby.
Witness sworn.
1 second, Your Honor.
Take your time.
All right. What's your name?
Tobe Leazenby.
And, Mr. Leazenby, just tell the court what's your current occupation and position.
I'm currently with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, serving as appointed Chief Deputy by Sheriff Tony Liggett.
Okay. And is it fair to say, just to kind of get past the technicalities or formalities here, that you were the former sheriff here in Carroll County for several years?
Yes, sir, because 2015 and 2022.
Okay. So in November, or in 2022, in late 2022, you were the acting sheriff. Is that right?
The elected sheriff, yes, sir.
Okay. And is it fair to say that you filed a motion essentially asking for a safekeeping order with this court back in November of 2022?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you had a chance to review that MO time in advance of coming in here today?
Briefly, yes.
Okay. Would it help you to have the motion in front of you as I ask you questions to refresh your memory?
If I may please.
May I approach?
You may.
Just take a look at this document and let me know what that's from, if you're familiar with that document.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with this document.
All right. And is that the motion that I've just alluded to that was filed by you, signed by you, and filed back in November of 2022?
Yes, sir.
Did you draft this motion yourself?
Actually, I had presented a similar motion to request, I should say, to the court, and as I recall, the court had actually come up or provided this particular document.
Okay. So let me see if I can ask a more direct question. Did you prepare that motion in your office on a computer, essentially?
I prepared a similar motion to this. Again, the wording was adjusted by the court.
Okay. So you prepared a document that we, presumably, don't have here today, right?
I would assume so, yes.
Okay. And you presented that document to the court?
Yes.
And then, this was the result?
Right?
This document?
Yes.
And then, you were asked to sign this?
Yes.
Who asked you to sign this?
The court.
Who's the court?
Judge Diener.
Okay. And that's how this essentially became to be?
Yes.
There was a process?
Yes.
Okay. The information that's contained in this motion, did you offer up all the information, or was some of that offered up by Judge Diener and others?
The wording, if I understand you correctly, was information that I had originally documented it in a previous request.
Okay.
And so the wording was simply adjusted in his document that the wording was the same. It's just that adjustments were made by the court with this document.
Okay. Did you provide to the court any additional documentation in support of, I'm gonna call these allegations, in support of the SE allegations before this document was finalized, let's say?
Again, the only thing I recall is providing, again, similar information as it.
Okay. Well, why don't we just try to get to the brass? Get down to the brass tacks here. Did you offer up any emails with threats on Mr. Allen's life or on jail staff or anything like that to the judge with your original pleading?
No, sir. The only thing that I had mentioned was obvio usly, this being high profile. Again, it's similar to this wording.
Okay. So the way I understand is this. You didn't offer up any supporting documentation at all other than just your thoughts about high-profile cases in the media, all of which is, frankly, referenced in here?
Yes.
You didn't receive, in advance of this particular circumstance, any audio threats from anyone that you shared with the judge. Somebody called your sheriff's department and said something on the phone?
No direct threats to me as sheriff of the county.
Okay. Did you provide up any kind of digital media communications or anything like that to the judge before this was finalized?
No, sir.
All right. And you acknowledge that Mr. Allen ultimately was arrested, I think it was October 26th. Does that sound about right? Of 2022.
Approximately, yes.
Okay. Let me just direct your attention again to this. To paragraph 3 of this pleading, if you would. Paragraph 3. I'm gonna read it to you and ask you some questions about it. Okay?
Affirmative response.
It says, the defendant has been charged in a high-profile cause, creating.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so is it fair to say that your concerns were based on potential threats, not any material threats to your life?
Correct.
Or Mr. Allen's life?
Correct.
Or the lives of any of the law enforcement officers involved in this case?
Correct.
Let me direct your attention to paragraph 4. I'm gonna read that to you and ask you some questions. You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Paragraph 4. In that the defendant has been charged in said high-profile cause, it is felt by the undersigned potential safety and security concerns exist involving not only the defendant, but also jail facilities in Carroll and White counties within the state of Indiana. Your words, right?
Yes.
Again, is there anything, was there, strike that. Were there any specific material threats made on you, your staff, or on Mr. Allen's life that support those words?
No, sir.
Let me direct your attention to paragraph 5. I'm gonna read that to you and ask you some questions. You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Because of the aforementioned reasons, as Sheriff of Carroll County, Indiana, I cannot provide the services, attention, or supervision necessary to protect or meet the defendant's needs or to ensure, protect, and guarantee the safety or security of the defendant, staff, or facilities. Those are your words, right?
Yes, sir.
And do you acknowledge that there hasn't been any immediate threat on your facility, even as we sit here today?
Yes.
Certainly not before this.
Correct.
Okay. So the crux of your motion was actually more along the lines of, hey, Judge, I just don't have the manpower, so to speak, to deal with this. Can you help? Is that a fair kind of summary?
A portion, yes.
All right. So is it accurate to say, well, strike that. Is it accurate to say that after Mr. Allen's arrest, that he was actually moved out of Carroll County and detained somewhere else?
Yes.
And did that happen basically immediately?
Yes.
Did you make those arrangements with the sheriff of White County to have that done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that was all kind of coordinated ahead of time?
Yes.
And so did he ever actually spend any time in the Carroll County Jail?
As I recall, maybe one night.
And so tell the court what arrangements you made to have him placed in White County.
Just a matter of simply having direct communication with Sheriff Bill Brooks and explaining my concerns of potential safety and security of our facility and ask him if he could temporarily hold Mr. Allen for us.
Okay. And were you confident that Mr. Brooks and his facility was adequate to hold him on a temporary basis?
At that time, yes.
Did you have any belief or any information that suggested that he was gonna be moved somewhere else within a day or 5 or 10 or any amount of time?
Potentially involving the safekeeping aspect, I felt at some point he might be moved.
But you didn't have any guarantees at that point?
Correct.
Do you routinely move offenders from your jail to other jails in the normal course of business?
Yes, sir.
Is that sometimes based on overcrowding?
Mainly because of overcrowding, yes.
Is it also sometimes based on the fact that you might have a co-defendant?
Correct, sir.
Are there ever reasons why inmates get moved around to other jails?
Those are the two primary.
Okay. Your jail happens to be unusually small, right? Is that?
Very small, sir.
Yeah. One of the smaller ones in the state, I assume.
Correct. Our maximum capacity is 34.
Okay. So do you routinely lean on Whitty County, for example, to house inmates for you?
Mainly White County, and then sometimes either Tippecanoe or Clinton.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
Sometimes also Tippecanoe or Clinton counties.
Okay. Tippecanoe is a pretty expansive jail with a lot of resources, right?
Right?
And White County's a newer facility as well?
Newer compared to ours, yes.
Sure. Okay. They have more resources over there?
Yes.
Do you ever farm anybody out to Cass County?
We have had a few. In fact, we may have one or two there now.
Okay. And they've got a much larger facility than you have?
Newer addition, yes.
Okay. And just recently opened, right?
Right?
In the last few months.
Yes.
In fact, right?
Right?
Okay. Is it fair? I'm looking at paragraph 7 of this pleading. If I could draw your attention to that, take a look at that, and let me know when you're ready.
Yes, sir.
So is it fair to say that at the time that you filed this motion, that you were willing to accept responsibility for transporting Mr. Allen to, and from wherever he ended up?
Yes, or coordinating with DOC.
Okay. So it says here, I will be responsible for transporting or for coordinating, right?
Right?
So you were willing to be a part of all that?
Yes.
At the time when you petitioned the court, did you have any interest in ensuring that Mr. Allen was going to be treated like other pretrial detainees?
That's the ultimate goal, if you will, for all detainees is the safety and security of those individuals. So that would include Mr. Allen.
So the answer's yes?
Yes.
Did you ever go to Westville to visit that facility before he was transported up there?
No.
Since he's been there, have you ever gone up there? Not necessarily to visit Mr. Allen specifically, but to go up and take a look at the circumstances under which he's detained?
No, sir.
And you've been aware, I assume, for several months now, that there's been an ongoing call it a feud, if you will, about his detention circumstances?
From what I've seen of media reports, yes, sir.
Okay. Are you aware of anyone else in your department that has gone up to Westville to visit Mr. Allen? Not him and talk to him, but visit and inspect the circumstances up there since he was arrested?
I'm not aware, no.
Was it brought to your attention at some point that I had worked out an arrangement to have Mr. Allen moved?
Yes.
Okay. And was it your understanding that Mr. McClelland was okay with that occurring?
It's my understanding Mr. McClelland's position was that that was a sheriff decision.
Okay. You've not heard that he was okay with that. You think he was?
No.
Punting to the sheriff's department?
Right?
Okay. And is it your understanding that the court was amenable to doing?
I mean, I know that the court had entertained the request, but I don't know the court's position.
All right. You acknowledge that Cass County was really the centerpiece in terms of where to try to move Mr. Allen when these discussions were ongoing?
Yes.
And that's a facility that's roughly how far from here?
Time-wise, roughly 20 minutes.
And was there a point in time when you were involved in any decision as to whether or not to move him to Cass County?
No.
Okay. Was that, presumably, your superior?
Yes.
Sheriff Liggett?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a transport officer that works at the jail, or did you when you were sheriff?
Yes.
As a full-time officer?
Yes.
Okay. Does that transport officer travel to and from various jails and prisons, picking up, moving offenders, and things of that nature?
Yes. However, I should interject that due to, like many county jails, due to low labor force, if you will, that individual's been placed into a rotation, so we...
Okay, but that's something that's normal in jail systems, right? I mean, you're constantly moving inmates around.
Sure.
All right. Do you have any kind of emergency response unit or SRT team or anything like that that works for the sheriff's department?
No, sir.
Like a drug interdiction team that serves warrants on an emergency basis?
No, sir.
So if you're dealing with high-profile stuff where you're serving a warrant and there's suspected to be guns and drugs, do you seek out the assistance of other agencies?
Yes, sir.
And is that something that you do routinely in this business?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about attorney-client visits at the Carroll County Jail. Okay.
Yeah.
Do those happen fairly regularly?
Yes, sir.
And when attorneys visit the jail, is it fair to say basically you walk in and you push a button and talk to the jail staff and they make arrangements for you to come in and visit your client?
Yes, sir.
And is it fair to say that that's really not any more complicated than parking on the street down here, right in front of the door, and just walking 10?
Yes.
Are you aware of any circumstances where attorneys that enter your jail to speak with clients are patted down, or they're walked through a metal detector, or anything like that in advance of meetings?
They're asked if they have any, items of potential contraband or cell phones, or they're asked to leave cell phones outside of that meeting room. And so overall, security-wise, yes, they're not necessarily patted down, if you will, but simply asked if they have any particular items on them.
Forgive me, but I've obviously been in that jail and visited with clients before. Do you agree that a lot of those meetings happen in the room? There's kind of a library in your jail where there's a big table and some chairs?
Correct.
It's a fairly sizable room?
Yes, sir.
And it's a pretty comfortable place to sit and communicate with clients, right?
Right.
And that's kind of the norm when attorneys come to visit, right?
Correct.
Are you aware of any circumstance as where any of your staff or Sheriff Liggett's staff now, I understand there's this transition, have mandated that these visits be video recorded by your staff?
Obviously, we have cameras in our facility, but I'm not aware of any mandated recording.
Where one of your jail staff holds a camcorder and walks around and follows the inmate and the attorney and videotapes his stuff?
Nothing I've ever witnessed.
Say that again, please.
Nothing I've ever witnessed.
Okay. Do you believe that there are visits that occur with inmates routinely where the inmates are not shackled? Let's say like Mr. Allen is here today?
Within the confines of the building, correct. Yeah, they're not shackled in...
No leg shackles?
Right. The only time we obviously utilize that type of equipment is when we go outside of the building with a defendant.
Sure. No belly chains?
No.
No handcuffs, box handcuffs like he's wearing today?
No.
You ever see anybody moved around the jail with like a leash or a chain on, hooked to them, where an officer's walking them around?
Not within the building, no.
That would all be very unusual in terms of attorney-client visits in your jail?
Right, yes.
Very convenient to walk in there and meet with a client and have discussions, right?
Yes, sir.
And do you agree that lawyers are able to bring documents in, like discovery?
Correct.
Laptops?
Yes.
Anything that they basically needs, pens, pencils, those kinds of things?
Yes.
And does your staff there allow inmates to drink water when they're meeting with their lawyers? Is there any problem with that?
No.
Just basic needs, right?
Right.
To have a conversation with a lawyer.
Correct.
All right. May I approach?
You may.
Let me hand you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit A. It's just a photograph of Mr. Allen. I'm sure you recognize that.
Hum.
Yes or no? just because we're trying to pick up a recording.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you acknowledge that that's a photo that was taken of him.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay. And you know that I've taken some exception to this photo, right?
Yes.
And primarily the condition of his clothing, and just the way he looks?
Yes, sir.
You see that his clothing on defendants, eh?
Yes.
Is it obviously soiled and discolored and stained?
There appears to be, yes.
I mean, is this the kind of clothing you will all see on your inmates at the Carroll County Jail? Do they look like this?
No, sir.
You would wash clothes and give the new clothes if
They routinely do that.
they looked like these?
Yeah.
You take care of your inmates?
I always try to, yes.
Move to admit A. Defendant's Exhibit A offered.
No objection, Judge.
All right. Without objection, A is admitted. Defendant's Exhibit A admitted.
I have no further questions.
Mr. McClelland.
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy Leazenby, first of all, how many years in law experience? Or how many years have you been a law enforcement officer?
37.
37 years. And for some of that time, you were the elected sheriff. Is that correct?
Correct.
Throughout that time, you've always dealt with offenders, inmates, people who are charged with various offenses,
Yes, sir.
and also people that have been convicted of those offenses.
Yes, sir.
Even at the Carroll County Jail, people that are convicted are held there weeks, months, sometimes years after their conviction. Is that fair?
Correct.
Is it fair to say the majority of the cases that we have in Carroll County are drug-related? OWI, theft, level felony, and minor misdemeanor cases. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
We don't have someone who's at least alleged to have committed the murder of 2 little girls.
Correct.
In this county,
Correct.
have you ever had that in your experience?
We have had homicide defendants, yes, in our jail.
And given the notoriety of this case and the kind of level of media attention in this case, when Mr. Allen was taken into custody, did you have concerns about his safety?
Yes.
Now, you had no direct threats of that concerned his safety. Is that correct?
Correct.
But you were concerned that he may be in danger?
Right?
Were you concerned about him being in danger from other inmates?
Potentially.
Our jail doesn't have the Carroll County Jail doesn't have a segregation unit. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so he would have to be housed with other inmates.
Correct.
And did you have a fear that there may be some kind of retribution from those other inmates against Mr. Allen?
Potentially, yes.
Did you have a concern that when he was transported back and forth to the courthouse there may be issues?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Razi asked you about the transport officer. Typically, when you have a transport officer, how many people go to transport another inmate?
Usually it's a one-on-one or one-on-two or more sometimes.
And you talked about staffing issues, and I guess there's been nobody who's been exempt in the sheriff's office at this point who hasn't had to transport somebody.
Correct.
You included, right?
Correct.
The sheriff included?
Right?
And so typically when you transport somebody, it's a one-on-one situation.
Correct.
Would you feel calm at the time that you filed this? Did you feel comfortable transporting Mr. Allen in a one-on-one situation?
No.
The visitations with attorneys and clients, those are videotaped. Correct?
Yes, they have.
There's no audio, but
There is video.
image videotaping of those meetings. Why is that done?
Again, that's mainly for, if you will, to monitor, mainly for the safety and security of not only the facility, but that individual, that is, because we have had individuals act out against their attorneys, and so we want to obviously provide.
Sure. And when you filed the motion, those safety concerns were in the front of your mind when you filed the motion?
Yes.
And you didn't make the decision to grant the safekeeping. Is that fair?
That's correct.
The court did that, right?
Right?
But you filed the motion with your concerns and outlined those concerns in the motion?
Correct.
Before you signed the motion, Did you review it?
Yes.
And so there may have been some, corrections or additional language added to the motion before you signed it, but you had an opportunity to review it before you signed it?
That's correct.
And did you firmly believe the statements in that motion were correct?
I did.
And did you believe those statements in that motion when you signed it?
I did.
When have you asked the Department of Correction to house people for safekeeping purposes before?
Yes.
And in other cases, when you do that, do you go inspect the facilities at DOC before they're transported?
Typically, I have not. I must comment that I've been to Westville, although some time ago, but I know the general layout, if you will,
Sure.
of that facility, But this particular case, I did not because I have faith and trust in the Department of Corrections.
Sure. And I guess my word the question better. W, is it routine for you to go inspect the facilities at DOC before you ask that an inmate be transported for safekeeping?
No.
It would seem unusual to me that you would ask for a safekeeping order and, before they're transported, go to that facility, check it out to see if it meets your standards, I suppose, and then allow the inmate to be transported.
Again, I have trust in the Department of Corrections
Sure.
and their facilities and resources.
Mr. Razi had asked you about if inmates are shackled or handcuffed in your facility. Have you had occurrences where you've had a high-risk inmate where they are shackled during attorney visits?
If we have, it's been some time ago. I can't recall any recent specific incidents.
Would it be was it your policy when you were the sheriff to have, if there's a high-risk defendant, that they be restrained in some way when they visit with their attorney?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Mr. Razi.
Have you had other murderers housed in your jail in the past?
Yes.
And Mr. McClelland asked you if you had any direct threats, and you acknowledged that you hadn't had any direct threats on his life, or yours, or anybody else's, right?
Right.
Did you have any indirect threats on his life, or yours, or anybody else's?
Not indirect, but I guess I will say rumors or social media innuendos.
Okay. Did you send law enforcement teams or authorities out to act on those?
No, because we weren't fully aware of the actual location of those individuals.
And let's talk about when he was transported to White County. Were you aware of the circumstances under which he was housed in White County, the White County Jail?
As far as specifically where he was placed.
Yeah.
Within White County. No. Again, I obviously had trust and still do have trust in Sheriff Bill Brooks.
So you didn't go over there either?
No, but I know their facility.
Okay.
Yeah.
But are you aware that he was isolated over there?
Again, once he was turned over to Sheriff Brooks, at that point that was his call. It's his building.
You don't even know?
I don't.
Did you attempt to call any other sheriffs in any of the other surrounding counties, maybe Tippecanoe, for example, to try and work some long-term arrangement out for him?
No, sir.
And Mr. McClelland asked you about transportation. You said you have this one officer. Does your department routinely ask for assistance from other law enforcement agencies in the course of your business?
Yes.
And you could have sought out that assistance in terms of transporting him, right?
Potentially, yes.
I mean, the ST8 police has been intimately involved in this case for the last 5 or 6 years, right?
Right.
They have far greater resources than your staffing has, right?
Right.
And your department has?
Yes.
Would have been an option?
Potentially.
Mr. McClelland asked you about whether or not it would have been, or whether or not it would have been routine for you to inspect a facility. Do you recall that question?
Yes.
And your answer was?
No.
If you had to do it over again, would you now T&K about inspecting, having been through all this?
No.
All right. I have nothing further.
Mr. McClelland.
Judge, yes, if I may. Sheriff Leazenby, or Deputy Leazenby, do you have concerns of Mr. Allen's safety today if he's placed in the Carroll County Jail?
I do because of our combination of several things, staffing, the concern of additional inmates, and not knowing, and my if I may speak, it was a proactive effort on my part in addressing this.
You had to act quickly. Is that fair in saying?
Yes.
He was arrested.
Yes.
There was concern that if he's housed in your jail, what was the concern for his safety? That another inmate would act out against him?
Inmate, or potentially any, outside sources not knowing, who may carry through with some type of an outside threat.
This crime is very closely connected to our community.
Right?
A lot of people involved.
Yes.
A lot of emotion involved.
Right?
And rightly so.
Yes.
And so did that house some of your fear that someone may become too emotionally involved and act out in an inappropriate way against Mr. Allen?
Correct.
And is that fear still there today, still present today?
Yes, I would say so.
As more evidence comes out,
Yes.
would you say your fear's going to be heightened or diminished?
I would say heightened.
And let's be clear, the admissions he's making in DOC, once those come out,
Right?
that he admitted to these crimes,
Right.
once that information is public, does that heighten your fear of his safety or diminish it?
Heighten it.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Thank you, Chief. You may step down.